Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Huh. Hmm. Oh. Wow.
Hi guys, it's Cari, and today we are going to be talking about the problematic book Eleanor and Park. And I want to preface
Hmm. Hmm. Yes. Perfect. Hmm. Don't think it's here. Perfect. Hmm. Well, I'm nervous. Are you nervous? Hello, and welcome to my prolonged and self-caused suffering turned into video for your viewing pleasure. I decided it would be great to read 31 books in 31 days, and here is my batshit reasoning. It makes sense to me. Will it make sense to anyone else? So, for like years, my dream has been to read 100 books in a year. I feel like that's just ultimate bragging rights. Could be great for like an icebreaker, like last year I read 100 books, you know what I mean? It's great, it's fun. The problem is, I've never done it, and I have decided that this is the year it's going to happen. So, I've decided that in August, obviously, and I've read, I think, hopefully by the end of the day it'll be 50 books exactly. So we're behind the schedule, but no, not even 50. I've read 40. Technically like 39, but I'm supposed to finish one today. I think I will. I know I will. I know I'll finish one today. It's the 31st. Anyway, we're behind schedule. Long story short, like very behind schedule if we're gonna read 100 books this year. So, my plan, when I go back to school in late September, I want to be able to read like a small, maybe like 2 book a week amount to finish. I think I can do that with school stuff, especially since it's going to be online. So, I need to be able to get to a point where I can read 2 books a week and finish by late September, which means I need to read a lot now. So, I figured why not get a big chunk of that out of the way and do 31 books and 31 days for August, and then just read a normal allotted amount in September. It seems like a great idea to me. You know, no procrastination, just get it out of the way right now. Here is my August TBR, in which I will be reading 31 books in 31 days. Okay, so I made a list, a hypothetical TBR list. As we get farther down the list, the likelihood that I'll read that book diminishes. So I kind of want to do this, there's 31 with like a rough 3-to-2 ratio. So there's 3 short books for every 2 normal to long books I read this month. I have a list, so I have 18 short books, I have 19 short books I can count, and 12 long/regular books. I randomly was watching the first one, the one I want to read the most, hypothetically, when I made this list at least, is, I don't know the author's name, I'll insert it below. I didn't write the author's name on this, that was kind of an oversight. But I want to read The Raven and the Dove. I saw this book on Bonnie Ain's channel. I don't know why, me and Bonnie must be on the same wavelength or something, because every time I watch a Bonnie Ain video, I leave with like 2 books on my to be read that I want to read like right now. And this is the one that I want to read now. It had this very complex explanation that she gave that really intrigued me. Bird people that are fighting for mates, kind of like an arranged marriage thing where the guys fight in a tournament and then the winner gets to pick their mate. And there's like all these like warring courts and sectors, and there's like a whole underlying plot, and then one of the main love interest is fighting for like his disabled brother. It's just a lot, and it sounds so interesting. Only problem is it's 512 pages. I want to read it though. I'm gonna get this one on Kindle. It's only like $3 on the Kindle store. So what's going to count as 9 books, and these are going to be short books. My library had this, which is the Saga First Compendium, which is 9 volumes of Saga. Originally, I only was going to read the pages are so thin, by the way, but originally I was only going to read this because these looked short when other people hold them up on their channel. They're like comic book sized. And when I was flipping through it to kind of put in these post-its, I was looking at the art, and it's very Guardians of the Galaxy, which intrigues me a lot. I really know nothing about it besides it's space, it follows a couple, and I really like all the art on the inside, and it's really popular, and people really like it. So I'm going to give it a try. I also have a book recommended by Whittynovels. Everyone's an alien when you are an alien too. There's like no words on these pages, which intrigues me. She also said it's really cute and uplifting. And I don't know if it's uplifting, but I can tell from flipping through it. It is really cute, so no reason to believe it's not uplifting then. I'm going to give this one a try. It's, again, really short, which is why we're reading it. I also have on here Persepolis 1 and 2. I have read Persepolis before, but I have not read the second one. I only read Persepolis 1. So I figured they're a graphic novel, you know, why not now to finish the series? This is a memoir of a girl who grew up in revolutionary Iran. From what I remember from the first one, a whole bunch of crazy stuff happens, and they're actually really interesting. I kind of like the art style too. It's very dark, but it suits it, I feel. This one is counted as a short book, which, it's not as short as the other ones have been, but which upon looking at it may seem weird, but this is the only Brian Selznick book I have not read. I got it from the library because if you want to get a copy of it for yourself, it's $33. And it only takes, these books I can usually get through in like an hour or so. If you were to look, it's literally like all photos. I've heard it's good. I've liked all of Brian Selznick's previous books, so there's no reason I shouldn't like this one. I have no idea what it's about. Apparently it's about a boat. It's a historical fiction, which they all are. Boy survives a shipwreck, and something to do with a London theater. I'll find out. And The Widow of Pill Harbor by Hester Fox. I read Hester Fox's debut novel, The Witch of Willow Hall. Loved it. So, I want to read this one. It's come out a while ago, but I finally bought it, and I'm gonna get around to it soon. I really want to do a video kind of like Hester Fox, like an author review. To do that, I need to read this one, her other book. Her books are so cool. They're kind of like fantastical realism, but in a historical setting. And they're very character-based, but they also kind of have like a mystery aspect to them. They're just like peak ambiance, you know what I mean? This one is about a man who moves to a small historical New England town, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on, and everyone is blaming this widow who they think is a witch, and he befriends this widow, and he's gonna try and figure out what's going on. I think it sounds really interesting. The last one was really good. So the only reason why this one shouldn't be better, she's had more practice. American Born Chinese by Jin Luen Yang. This is a graphic novel about a Chinese-American boy who is the only Chinese kid at his school. Then, a Chinese boy from China moves to his school, and everyone starts associating them together. He's very embarrassed by that because he doesn't identify with that part of his identity, or he isn't proud of it. So it's kind of his identity struggle about being Chinese in America. American Born Chinese. The art inside is kind of cute. I like it. There's a lot of dead space on each page, which is great for me. I also want to read Jin Luen Yang's, I don't have these books, and I don't have them from the library, but I also want to read Boxers and Saints, his other two graphic novels. They are, I think, about a war that happened in China. Not sure on the specifics. I also want to do a video, kind of like the Hester Fox one, of like an author review, if that makes sense. So I also want to read those. I have this book, which was recommended by Ariel Blissett, Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. This book seems to be about ambition and that kind of thing. It's basically about this woman who has been working as a convenience store cashier for 18 years, and everyone has no idea why she doesn't want to be promoted. She doesn't want to change jobs. She's happy with her life as it is as a convenience store clerk, and no one can understand why. And it just sounds interesting. And also the cover is gorgeous. The main reason I bought it. Another one I don't have, but they have it. I'm probably going to listen to it on an audiobook from my library, because the audiobook is only 5 hours long. It is Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. I get the feeling, I don't know what this book is about, I only know it's short, and that Booksandlala really likes it. Which, for me, is a bad omen, because I have never liked a book that Booksandlala has liked, and Booksandlala has never liked a book that I have liked. So the fact that she loves these books probably means I'll hate them, but it's only going to be like 2.5 hours of my life. So these are magical realism, my least favorite genre. From what I understand, it's kind of like these characters, like the children from Narnia, are pulled into these magical worlds, and this book, writes about what their life is like when they come back. Which sounds interesting enough. Oh, I have to go really soon. Which sounds interesting enough, but I don't know. I have two classics I'm gonna group together. They're on the shorter side, so if I read them really shallowly, the font in this book is so small. They're classics. I don't know if you need a synopsis. This one I want to read in particular. I hated Animal Farm. It's my least favorite book ever. But I got IQ 84 by Haruki Murakami. And it's the most gorgeous book I've ever seen, so I had to buy it. but it's a retelling of this story, and I want to read 1984 before I read a retelling of it. If that makes sense. So, here she is. It'll happen soon, hopefully. These ones, honestly, I probably should have put lower on the list, because I'm really gonna read these. Oh. Who is texting me? Ooh, yeah, I really have to go. I'll be back. Hello. I am back. For you, it's been literally no time at all. For me, it has been 2.5 hours. We'll start again by talking about a trilogy that I want to read. This is the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. The first one is Darker Shade of Magic, the namesake, A Gathering of Shadows, and A Conjuring of Light is the third and final book, all by V.E. Schwab. I am slightly adverse to them just because I tried to pick them up one time and it was honestly just a bad time. So ever since then I've just have not wanted to pick them up. I've heard they're good though, so I want to give them a try. I've never read V.E. Schwab. I bought the whole trilogy. I have them and I'm going to read them. I know they deal with parallel universes, and there's a romance that people like. The characters people are big fans of. Whittynovels really likes this series in particular, but I know a lot of other people do too. I want to try. I'm thinking I might listen to those on audiobook. I don't know. See, the problem is I really like audiobooks, but a lot of the books on this list I don't want to listen to on audiobook. So there's gonna have to be some that are cut for audiobooks, if that makes sense. Ooh, this one, speaking of audiobooks, I love listening to these books on audiobook. A little bit problematic right now. I've never read the series. I'm making my way through it slowly. This has been a long-term project. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I feel like they make great verbal stories. I'm not a huge fan of them text-wise, reading them, but I really love them on an audiobook. They're very plot-paced books and they don't have much else as far as imagery and that kind of thing, but they're so fun through audiobooks. I like listening to them audiobook. This is the 5th book of the series. Fun. Not so fun, but the book themselves they're fun, you know what I mean? They're not really, I don't understand why people love them so much, but they're good, you know. This is the only Leigh Bardugo I have yet to read. It is King of Scars. I'm actually kind of excited for this one. It's, again, a bigger one. I'm kind of excited for it because it covers, I wasn't a huge fan of Nina, but I really liked the prince. What's his name? Nikolai. I really liked Nikolai in the Grisha trilogy. And I really love this world. So it'll be fun to be in it again. I heard this book also follows Nina from Six of Crows duology, but it's mostly a Nikolai thing, and I think this should be good. I got this book for $6-7 new off Amazon. Don't know why it was so cheap, but it was. I wonder if the next one is coming out soon. Who knows? But this one is exciting. I'm excited to read this one. It should be good. Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. I read the draft actually way earlier in the year. This one is also long, but there's no way I'm not reading this month. It comes out, I think, the 4th. I pre-ordered it forever ago. I'm excited to read it. I really, really loved the draft, if that makes sense. The leaked manuscript version of it. So I don't see why I shouldn't love the final version. I think it should be good. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I haven't read all the Twilight books. I've seen the movies, and I've read 1 and 3 of the books. I love Twilight. I don't know. I just do. I am a paranormal romance lover, especially that early 2000s, late you know what I mean? Like late 2000s, early 2010s paranormal romance. I love that stuff. It's so good. It's just like, it speaks to a small part of my soul that was created when I was a child, and it will always have a soft spot in my heart. I also really want to read Sadie. I have no idea what it's about, but I saw it on Goodreads when I was looking for books to add to this list, and I remember it was like everyone's favorite book of 2019 or something like that. So I don't know what it's about at all, but I've just heard everyone really, really likes it. For some reason in my mind, I kind of associate it with like a thriller genre, and You, that book that's told in second person and they made the Netflix special about, I kind of associate it with that. I don't know why, but I do. The next book is a shorter one. This one, honestly, we're in the last two. These ones are the ones we get to. As I said, the farther we go down, the less likely they are to get read and probably get swapped out. But I have The Prince and the Dressmaker down. It actually sounds pretty interesting. It deals with like atypical gendered characters. The general premise of the book is there is a prince who wants to wear princess dresses. So he hires a like local dressmaker to make him princess dresses. And I think it kind of deals with the prince's gender, and if I'm not mistaken, there's kind of a little bit of romance between the prince and the dressmaker, hence the title, and just judging off what I've seen on the cover. But I think it could be cute. It's, I think, middle grade. The only problem is my library doesn't have it. And I'm not a huge fan of buying graphic novels. They're just more expensive than regular books because of all the art, and they have to be printed on different paper most of the time. And then they take less time to read, so I just feel like if we were to do like a time to enjoyment scale out of them, it's a much worse ratio than like a typical book. I do want to give this one a try. It sounds interesting. I've heard good things. If I can find it used online, it'll probably show up, but if not, it'll probably get swapped out for something that's a little bit more accessible. The final book on my list, number 31. This is a book I've wanted to read for a while. I just never got around to it. I really love hold up a second. The Renegades trilogy by Marissa Meyer. And I have yet to buy or read the third book, Supernova. But it would be really great if I could finish it and read the third one sometime in the near future, as in next month. So, to give you a general synopsis of the trilogy, the idea of Renegades is their world has been taken over, it's anarchy, and a governing body of superheroes emerged to kind of put things back in order. And they kind of they recruit other people with superpowers to kind of be like police officers / vigilantes for them and keep things under control, because the anarchy that was in place kind of created a horrible crime problem, as anarchy usually does. The main character is kind of a double agent. She works with some of the really big anarchist people, and they sent her in to kind of infiltrate the governing body by becoming one of these like agents underneath them. So she does that, but then as she stays in there longer, she kind of starts to have a quandary of whether or not which is good, which is bad, if that makes sense. Meanwhile, she's a double agent, so she makes friends with these people and is starting to question, like, should I be on their side? But then she has the problem of she can never really be honest with them, and if she was, because they would find out that she's this person, like this big anarchist, you know what I mean? The second one kind of left off on a cliffhanger, so I'm excited to see what happens in the third one, but apparently not that excited because I have not read it yet and it's been out a while. So, that is the end of my overly ambitious TBR. Did I press record? I really hope I pressed record. Thank God. I cannot tell you how many times I have gotten to the end of the video and have not pressed record. Thank you. Okay. That's the end. I think I'll be doing weekly updates with maybe some videos in between those updates. Apparently I have some author reviews planned, as I mentioned here. But thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I'm impressed because I literally, based on my watch time and views, think no one has ever made it to the end of my video before. So if you're watching this, you're the first. Congrats!